Hey everyone, sorry it's been so long since I put a video out. I know it's been a while, but I have a good excuse because this happened. Yeah, my MacBook Pro, the display went haywire, and unfortunately I can't get it fixed here in Mexico. It's completely covered under warranty, 100% covered, but the only way to get it fixed was to go up to the United States to make use of that warranty. So at the same time, coincidentally, it turned out that California had just reduced the age for getting your COVID vaccine to 50 and above, which was right for me and Charlie because we are above 50. So we took the opportunity to put the boat in the marina, and then we flew up to California to get our jabs. Somebody had to stay on the boat with Bubba, so Charlie went up first, got his jab, stayed for a few days, saw some family, and then he came back down. Then I went up to get mine. I got the computer fixed, woohoo, and got my jab. And now we're back, and we have lots more to share with you. So we will pick up where we left off in the last video, which was at the very end of our stay in Mazatlan, and enjoy. We're Charlie and Leanne, a couple from California who left our cushy suburban life to spend the next several years cruising around the Pacific Ocean on our boat, Juliet. And our little dog, too. In our last episode, we were getting ready to leave Mazatlan, but before we left, we did a fun hike up Cerro del Creston, the highest point in Mazatlan, which has over 300 steps, and we climbed every single one.
Almost there.
Bubba pooped out early, but we kept going. We made it! We deserved that rest at the top.
So someone that didn't make it.
Well, it's time to say goodbye to Mazatlan and weigh anchor for our next destination. Colin and Julian on Boundless took off first, and Juliet followed right behind them. This was going to be another overnight passage, as it's 131 nautical miles from Mazatlan to Ensenada Matanchen. I was thrilled we were going to be doing this passage along with Boundless, as it's so much more pleasant to have another boat with you when you're sailing through the night. This actually turned out to be very fortunate, as you'll see shortly. The winds were favorable, so Boundless wasted no time in putting up their spinnaker. Look at that! Nice! Any interest in putting ours up? We never did put ours up, but Colin and Julian sure enjoyed sailing with theirs. I see them! Oh my god! That's awesome! Oh, there's a big plume! 2 of them. Oh, nice! We each took our turn at the helm. On Juliet, we do 3-hour shifts, which allows us enough time to grab a few Z's in between shifts. Bubba's shifts are easy. He sleeps through them. As the sun dropped beneath the horizon, we had no idea that we were about to experience our worst overnight passage yet. So I am not a happy camper. Apparently, the charts that we have stop just below Mazatlan, and we no longer have working charts on our BMG So we can't, like, all we can see is the most basic information of like where the line of the land supposedly is, but there's no depth information. There's no, I can't steer to it. And also, the information that is on there that you can see is wrong. I mean, it shows us, like when we're at sea, that we would be on land. Anyway, bottom line is I no longer have charts that I can use. So I have to follow Colin and Julian. They are up ahead of us. They have the right charts. I've got to follow them and just steer to that little light, bright light in front of the boat. And that's going to get more and more challenging as the night goes on. But unfortunately, I don't know what went wrong. We'll find out when we get there why our charts aren't working. Okay, so let me break down what really happened here. We'd purchased Navionics charts for Mexico, but apparently the ones we had ended just south of Mazatlan. So suddenly our B&G multifunction display no longer had accurate information about our surroundings. The land was in the wrong place, I couldn't see any islands or obstacles like pinnacles, no depths. This is what the display is supposed to look like, so you can see how much more information is on there. By morning, we'd figured out what was wrong, and we were able to use our iPad, which had up-to-date charts on it, to see accurate information for the rest of the journey. You can see here the difference between the two. But that wasn't all that happened that night. Sometime around 3 a.m., as I was sticking very close behind Boundless, a huge fishing boat started coming up on our port side on a collision course. No matter where I turned, they turned towards us. And then they actually altered their course to barge in between us, which was completely unnecessary considering there were no other boats anywhere nearby, and it seemed to me very reckless. But they left us alone after that, and eventually we made it to Matanchen, dropping anchor in a calm, misty bay. We collapsed for much-needed naps, as neither one of us got much sleep that night. Matanchen is a very large bay with the best, longest beach we've seen so far in Mexico. There were hardly any other boats there, so we had our pick of spots to anchor. It has a good sandy bottom too, so this was one anchorage where we never had to worry about our boat dragging or other boats dragging and waking us up in the middle of the night. The long white sand beach is lined with casual open-air palapas serving fresh seafood. It turned out to be a great place to grab a cold drink in a coconut. After recovering from our difficult passage, it was time to check out the beach, stretch our legs, and give Bubba a chance to feel land under his feet. This is a very popular beach with locals, and we saw lots of families picnicking and swimming. It was hard to pick which restaurant to go to, but we found one where the owner would watch our dinghy while we were ashore. What?
Spray your legs.
Oh. We did learn one other thing about Matanchen. It's infested with jejenes. These are biting no-see-um bugs that are so tiny they manage to get through even fine mesh screens, and this place has them bad. Even though I sprayed incessantly, I got eaten alive. I hate jejenes. After exploring the beaches, it was time to wander into the small dusty town to see what it has to offer. Bubba got pooped out by running on the beach, so he got to ride on Charlie's back for the trip. Turns out there's not much there. A few small restaurants, souvenir shops, a tiny church. But what this place is known for is its banana bread, baked with locally grown bananas. There were at least a dozen banana bread vendors, many of them baking their wares right on the premises. We found the place that had the most business, and of course had to buy some for ourselves. We got a plain, a coconut, and a chocolate chip version. It was moist and really yummy. We've been hearing about La Tobada, the jungle tour for years, and finally we were here to experience it for ourselves. So the next day we headed back into the village to the mouth of the Nayarit River, where we hired a panga with a guide to take us upriver to see the wildlife. It felt like something straight out of Jurassic Park, winding through these dripping green tunnels. We emerged from the tunnels to see an old movie set from a 1991 Mexican film called Cabeza de Vaca, about an early Spanish explorer. This film won a bunch of awards, so I'm going to try and find it online. This place was a paradise for bird watchers, with over 300 species of birds found here.
Oh, that's one of those duck-billed. No, that's boat-billed. Is that a boat? That looks like something else.
But it's not just about the birds. It's about the reptiles. So yeah, Jurassic Park indeed. There he is. He's back.
Teleported in soon, yeah. Whoa.
At the far end of the tour is a small restaurant where we stopped for a quick lunch. And then we zoomed back down the river to complete our tour. Back to Juliet for a quiet sunset.
He has a lot of people that is like
That's all for now. Be sure to come back next time when we take a road trip into the city of San Blas. And then it's time to head further south down the coast to continue our journey. Next stop, an absolutely picture-perfect anchorage called Chacala, one of our favorite places so far. And along the way, I finally catch a fish. So be sure to come back for our next episode. If you're enjoying our videos and want to help support our channel, please consider becoming a patron. You can find us on Patreon at the address below, or click the link in the video description. And don't forget to subscribe. Also, we love it when we get comments, so please tell us what you think.